Hi, my name is Ryan DeRusso, and I wanted to take you in a few minutes through what a financial plan looks like. I think there's a lot of unknowns when you're seeing a financial advisor or financial planner for the first time. And so I really wanted to show you the differences because often when you go see an investment manager, someone will say, "Hey, I have a financial advisor. They manage my investments." But financial advising is so much more, and brokerages and insurance companies use the term financial advisor, but they're not really showing you the full holistic perspective of your finances, and instead really focused on sort of the products that they're selling. And so I wanted to give you a sort of an understanding of what financial planning looks like. So then, one, you can make an informed decision as you're finding a financial planner or advisor, but also make sure you're getting the right type of advice in that process. So let me share you a sample plan. I'm just going to pull that up right now. All right, you should be able to see this. And this is what's called Right Capital. This is the software that we use. All financial planners use some sort of software, and this just helps with the conversation, helps make sure that we are making accurate assumptions and calculations for the long-term impact on your plan. But when we're doing this, we have to really know that we have the right information that we're inputting here. And so really what this is a look at your entire financial picture and making sure everything is up to date and imported correctly. So we first start with like your family and where they are in life, and how long they're going to be, if you have children, how long they're going to be dependent on you, and when, how old you are now and when you will retire, and all those sorts of things. From there we'll figure out sort of the expenses. So how much is going in or out every month. This doesn't include stuff like insurances or house payments or anything like that. Those are inputted elsewhere. But what are you spending your money on for other stuff, and how is that impacting your finances, as well as how you're filing for taxes there? Then we want to look at sort of how you're saving. So are you saving a 401k, IRA, a 529, an HSA? It doesn't matter. We just want to know how it's going right now and what you're doing right now. And then when the planning process gets into, we may tweak that depending on what you're doing. We also need to know the income. So what money's coming in, where is it coming in? Is it self-employed? I have a lot of private practice therapists as clients, and they're often self-employed in that design. And so what's that look like? As well as a lot of them have, with partners who have a traditional W-2. And so we account for that as well. We just want to know everything that's going on so we know how much you have to work with. But it's not just like monies and cents, because we also need to know where you want to go in your life. And that's really what the goals tab gets to. We're looking at when you want to retire, how much you want to spend per year in retirement. What does the retirement cost look like for healthcare and long-term care? Because those are so important later in life. But also the fun stuff, like, do you want a new car? Do you want a lifestyle vacation, annual, that sort of thing, as well as responsibilities. If, say, you want to put your kid through college, well, let's plan for that and let's create a plan for that. And that's how we do so here, as well as maybe some other things like an investment property or something along those lines. After that, we input all the other parts that make up your financial life. So, your bank accounts, this is just a demo account. So it's all just, it's fake numbers here really, but we want to know the checking, the savings, the credit card debt, what's going on from the investment standpoint. Again, these are just numbers, but we would actually be putting in what your investments are and what they're doing so we can analyze that correctly. What loans you have out. This is a mortgage, that's pretty typical, but what about the credit or a personal loan? What about a car loan? All those sorts of things. We want to know the total impact of all those loans, as well as the total value of your properties. And if you have any insurances, maybe you have whole insurance, maybe you have term insurance, whatever, we would be looking at that, as well as if you have a business, because we would be incorporating potential savings in terms of how you manage it. And, I work with a lot of self-employed, and so they come in with maybe a sole proprietor, an LLC, that sort of thing. And we need to figure out if that's the right, appropriate sort of design for them from a financial standpoint, as well as much as we can from a liability standpoint. And then from there, what this software does is it runs thousands of calculations based on this information and the inputs that we've put in, and says, hey, what's the likelihood that the money is going to outlive you? You know, that's really what this goal is. We want to know, are you going to have enough money for the rest of your life if you keep things consistent? And that's what this tab really shows us. And what we see is, without any financial planning, this person has basically a coin flip sort of situation of whether they will live longer than their money or not. And we don't want to see it at that level. And so what the planning process is really figuring out how to get from here to much higher rate here, at least at the beginning, right? We eventually want this to get over 90% or more, but especially by the time they're close to retirement. But this person is very far from retirement, so a lot of things could change. And so what we do is we create a plan based off of this, but these are just numbers on a screen. And really what this is a conversation between me and my clients to figure out what they actually want to get out of life, what they actually want to get out of their finances, and then how can we position it so it's optimized and create a situation where they have a lot more security. And so, you know, maybe they're not saving as much for the kids' college, because while they want to help them, they don't want to necessarily pay for everything. Maybe they want a smaller car than they were expecting, or maybe they want to save more. But again, this is not just me saying do it. It's me saying, is this something that you would want to do? Okay, this is how you do it, type of thing. We would also incorporate things like different asset allocations for their investments, Social Security, an optimal strategy for that, debt pay down. We design a plan for that, as well as education and any other sort of things. Roth conversions are a common thing from an investment standpoint. That's where we'd be incorporating a lot of this. But we're not just focused on, you know, the long term. We also want to know what life is like today for you if this were to you know, if you were to incorporate it. And so that's where we would also be, you know, working a lot with clients and talking to them about their cash flow, and is this plan doable for them? Because if it's not doable for them, the plan is worthless. But here we see net cash flow about 24,000. So that's great. This is an opportunity. Maybe this will work. But we also have this tab where we can look further along and see 24,000 here. This would be when they buy that investment property. So it's negative, but we would have planned for that. And then moving here and moving here, we see some positives. And is this going to be workable long term? We want to know that. And if we know that, then that's great. And if we see that it's not, then let's tweak it to make sure it is more livable for them. Now, I will also work with a lot of self-employed business owners, as I mentioned. So not everything is done on, you know, the software or anything like that, but also done in conversations about the business or Excel sheets, evaluating new hires and things like that. But from like a personal financial landscape, this is really the full scope of the financial planning. So if you're not getting this from your financial advisor, make sure to ask them why. And it might be that they're just only focused on your investments or only focused on your insurance. And if that's the case, then really look for a holistic financial planning situation. I hope this helps provide some background on sort of what to expect when you're going into financial advising or financial planning. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available and always interested in talking about this topic. But again, I'll talk to you again soon. Have a good one. Bye.